Hi, I'm Heba Said, and this is SEO in 2023 Additional Insights.
Heba, what's your additional insight for SEO in 2023?
I'm going to talk today about the importance of accessibility for the web pages and how does that impact our technique in SEO and how can we impact that on the websites.
Okay, well, if you can you provide then a brief summary of where we are with accessibility at the moment? What are the key elements of accessibility at the moment that are particularly relevant for SEOs?
So web content is talking right now about accessibility, and this is where SEO comes, because when Google talks about a user experience or a core update or something like that, it goes where how is the user interacting with your website, how is the user is reaching your content and understanding your content. So if we're not doing this for a website, we're losing a lot of diversity here. Some numbers say that 15% of the minorities are people with disability. So we have like different impairments, wherever is it vision, intellectual, or physical disability. But 2.2 billion of people were having a visual impairment of some kind. So if we're not targeting these people, we're losing a lot of percentage in our website. And our clients are losing like revenue and losing sales as well. So as an SEO, I have the responsibility to make these easier for user to use. I want to make this website easier for user. I want to make this website easier for crawling, to crawl the website and to rank afterward. So to make it accessible, I need to go through 4 core points. It needs to be perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. What does that mean for me is like making everything in the website from codes as an HTML code. It should be accessible, it should be easy, it should be simple for assistive technologies to read this, because we're doing right now we're having assistive technology for different impairments, and these assistive technology are using operating systems, and these systems need to get into your website and read each and every details, and it should be like accessible, it should be organized, it shouldn't be repeatable. The content itself, as an SEO, we need to make this content usable for the user. So as we say, we have techniques for SEO like title tags, description tags, headings, and stuff like that. These are the important keys that we should go through and make it unique for each page.
So I was thinking, when you initially started to share there, that you talked about wanting to deliver a great user experience, but then I was wondering, how does Google actually judge whether your site is delivering a great user experience? And then when you were carrying on actually sharing there, and you were talking about things like making a website accessible and having good HTML code, is Google just looking at the source code of a web page to determine if that web page is accessible?
The thing is, Google is using a tool like the assistive tools. So when someone is using an assistive tool and it's very easy for their tool to read the website without any complication and without delay, that means that Google would do the same. He will see the website at ease and without delay. That means it's going to be faster, it's going to be mobile friendly, it's going to be user friendly, and these are the thing that Google are mentioning in every and single day, that we should make our website faster, we shouldn't like have a delay, we shouldn't have a pop-up from anywhere and stuff like that, to deliver the content in a more accessible way.
If an SEO is just getting started with making their websites more accessible, it hasn't really been considered in the past. Obviously, there's so much that can be done that you've listed already. What are the initial steps? What are the key elements to get right to begin with?
If you're using JavaScript, you should ask your developer to look into the code and use an ERA code. It's something that's out there for developers that they can use, and it's very easy for the assistive technology to read. If you're having any website that we take in SEO, the first thing we do is like go to Lighthouse and see how it's performing and how is the speed and how every single detail in this kind of report is very important for accessibility. So if you can like go into depth of coding, you just have to do your work. You just have to add alt tags for images. You have to ask people to add into the video or media in the website transcripts and add audio description of what's happening inside your website. Because if you're delivering the content into videos and someone is blind or visually impaired, that would be hard for him to understand what you're doing. So you're losing about 2 billion of people out there. This is a very simple step that you can take that is not very hard. You can like edit the font. If the font is very small, you can add as a feature in a website that you can enlarge fonts for everyone as he needs. This is something very easy to do, and same goes for like high contrast colors for the background and the foreground and stuff like that. Adding tags it's our daily job. So adding tags for each and every page, this is going to be very easy for any user to use, and even Google, of course. This kind of thing, the navigation, yes, it should be like you should have a navigation. It should be the same for each page. The navigation should be simple and direct. And you should have a sitemap, an easy sitemap for everyone to use.
An HTML sitemap you're talking about there?
Yes, that would be very helpful.
How do you measure the impact of accessibility on SEO? Because I think intuitively it's the right thing to do. There are millions, possibly billions of people out there that can benefit from improved accessibility on a web page. But how does Google actually take what you're doing with accessibility of your site and use that information to determine where you should be ranked and how your ranking should improve?
It does not work like in a ranking should improve because you're doing accessibility. If you're delivering the content for everyone and you're having a high demand for, and like you're having a less bounce rate and higher demand for a website, that will work good for your business. It doesn't work like I need to rank. No, you just need your business to prospect and to gain more users and to get more sales, whatever business you're delivering the content for. So this is how it works, because when someone is visiting my website every day because he thinks it's very informative and this is how I get my answer for my queries and stuff like that, that will encourage Google to crawl more of my website, to index more of my website, and new content that I'm adding, it's going to be indexed easier and faster, because this is a website that they have an expertise, people trust them, and they have good content that users are relying on. So this is how you can gain, more traffic, you can gain more sales, and that's how you can, like, if you're comparing before accessibility and after, it's the same thing as comparing before SEO and after SEO.
Understood. So what you're saying is it's definitely better for the user. You can experience that and measure that by perhaps using tracking scripts to see what users do on your website. But Google aren't going to measure that directly and impact its rankings because of that. However, what Google will look at is the result that happens after you impact better accessibility. And so if you make it easier to actually discover what your web page is about, people will spend longer on your web pages. Exactly. They're more likely to demonstrate to Google that they've found the result, what they're looking for in your site, and that higher click-through rate or higher retention in your site is more likely to then positively impact your SEO.
Yes, exactly.
And we've talked about Google quite a bit. Are there other search engines picking up on these kind of metrics and making positive decisions on the result of accessibility just as much as Google is?
Yes, because every search engine is now looking for the speed of a website and the easy coding for a website. This is all rely on the accessibility as well. So when we talk about Google here, we're talking about any crawler or a technology that is trying to enter your website and read whatever you're having in a website without seeing any images or any colors or anything, just reading the code itself. So it should be easy for the technology that you're using and any technology that the people with disabilities using as well.
And you mentioned Lighthouse. Are there any other software tools that you recommend for doing an analysis on how a website or a web page is performing from an accessibility perspective?
Yes, and I'm like recommending a tool if you want to check if your website is using accessibility well or not. If you want to know if you're having any error or something that you can add, you can use an AxDev tool. It's a web accessibility testing tool that you can download via Chrome extension. And this tool is accessing your web page and debugging every data inside your web page and gets you the report that you would need if you want to check for accessibility.
Okay, superb.
Yes, we have another one. It's called Wave. Yes, it's doing the same thing. It's like you're debugging the website within the tool, and then the tool gets you what you need to do to gain more accessibility in the website. If you're having any issues, if you're having any error out there that you can fix.
Okay, superb. Okay, well, thanks for those recommendations. So you certainly shared that SEOs need to be thinking about accessibility more in 2023. But now let's talk about what SEO shouldn't be doing. So what's something that's seductive in terms of time, but ultimately counterproductive? What's something that SEO shouldn't be doing in 2023?
I still see people thinking about how Google is working rather than thinking about what the user needs from you. So when you're working with a website or a new client, you just need to see how the client needs his user to find him more. Because when you work in a user-based, you're going to be more creative. You're going to know how you're going to target that user and how you can serve him good and make this website accessible for this person more than just thinking about some software that you should rank for. So you should rank in. So if you're using this as a user-based website first and then a crawler, it's gonna help you very well to like rank very well in Google. So you just like take a step back when you're thinking about links and buying links and guest posting and stuff like that, and just concentrate on your website, make it more accessible for people, put a very useful content, target your user first, and then think about everything else.
Okay, so SEOs shouldn't just think about Google, certainly, but should SEOs think about both the user and Google, or are we
of course
progressed enough so that the SEO only has to focus on the user and Google won't actually follow from that?
If we like focused on user, I see it this way. So if I'm focused as Heba to reach everyone in this world to know about something, then I'm focused in like the whole diversity, and how can someone with visual impairment see my website, and how can someone with auditory impairment can check my website, and these kind of things that mean that I can make it accessible for a software. And this is where comes Google. So if you're thinking about these people, then it will come later that you're thinking about Google itself.
Heba Said is a freelance SEO who used to work for Canva, and you can find her by searching Heba Said, that's Hebasaid on LinkedIn. Heba, thanks so much for adding your additional insight to SEO in 2023.
Thank you, David. Thank you. It was lovely meeting you.
I've been your host, David Bain, and you've been listening to SEO in 2023 Additional Insights, a majestic series that complements the original SEO in 2023 podcast, video series, and book. Find out more over at SEOin2023.com.